Coming up on OU Nightly, Markwayne Mullin is set to become the new DHS Secretary. What this could mean for his soon-to-be open Senate seat. Plus, the OU Board of Regents will meet on Tuesday. What degree changes could come next?
And we've got a chance to see severe thunderstorms across the state tonight as storms are already starting to build. I'll give you the full forecast and what you need to know coming up. This is OU Nightly.
You're taking a live look at the OU campus where it has been wet and rainy all day. And as you join us tonight, a tornado watch issued for the Norman area. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Clay Webster.
And I'm Caroline Kramer. Severe weather rocked the western part of Oklahoma yesterday, and now today, storms are firing up again across the state.
Our chief meteorologist, Aiden Bruns, is joining us now in the studio. Aiden, what are our storm chances for today?
At this point, guys, they are really starting to kick off across the state. You can see all of these yellow boxes being severe thunderstorm warnings currently ongoing, and they're really sitting right around central Oklahoma and pushing to the east. All of these small supercells are really getting some of that intensity from that sun you just saw in that live look. But we do have a tornado warning right now heading from Henrietta up to Okmulgee. That one looks to be expiring around 5:15, so we are going to be watching these storms as they push throughout the rest of the state. Eastern sides of the state looks to be a little bit more severe, but right now you can just see already the storm 2 in Chickasha moving probably just north of Norman, but we are going to keep our eyes on it. It could start moving a little bit more east, and then we also see storms down by Lawton starting to pick up. So all of this right here, these are severe thunderstorms with chances for hail, some damaging wind gusts, and if we get some rotation, we could see some tornadoes come out of them. That's why we've got a tornado watch in place until 10 o'clock tonight. And again, with that Henrietta tornado warning already in place, we're looking pretty favorable with the conditions in the environment right now. But even last night, 4 tornadoes reported in Oklahoma. We've got an EF2 one that was just west of Fairview. Same with the one in Helena, EF2. Wakita, we haven't gotten a rating on that one yet from the NWS, but we're going to keep our eyes on what happens tonight. This was the one just west of the Fairview storm. You can see this lowering right here. That was from the Fairview Emergency Management Crew. They've got that one out there. So this could be a similar setup tonight, but mostly for eastern Oklahoma. But I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk for a report on what we got from this one last night.
Thank you, Aiden. And those storms last night in Fairview killing a mother and her daughter in their car. According to the Major County Sheriff's Office, the two were inside the car when the storm hit them. The county sheriff is asking commuters to avoid the area at this time. And we're continuing to cover the big news of the week. Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin taking his new job as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Mullin must first be confirmed by the Senate, but another question is now what happens to his Senate seat?
OU Nightly's Leah Smith walks us through the next steps.
President Trump nominated Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to be the new Secretary of Homeland Security.
Listen, I am super excited about this opportunity. It came at not a complete surprise, but it came at a little bit of surprise for us. And so the president and I, as you guys know, we're great friends and we get along great. I look forward to working with him and his cabinet. Of course, we still got to go through this little thing called confirmation, and we're going to get started on it right away.
This position change came after a week of backlash from Congress for former Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem. She says she will now be acting as special envoy for the Shield of Americas. Oklahoma Governor Stitt will now be tasked of naming a caretaker for the open Senate seat, serving until January 3, 2027. An election for the official seat will be held in November. In a written statement, Governor Stitt says, quote, Markwayne Mullin has been a fighter for Oklahoma and will fight to keep our nation secure. There isn't a better choice to lead the Department of Homeland Security. I will be looking to appoint a strong, small government conservative voice to support President Trump and protect Oklahomans' way of life. When asked about how he will work with Democrats, Senator Mullin says he will do what he can to work with them.
Mr. Schumer wants to sit down and talk to me. I'm going to sit down and talk to him. I want to try to earn their support, and I'm going to be very open and honest with them. And at the end of the day, all I can do is do my job. If they have real concerns, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to see if it's practical. But nothing's going to prevent me from doing my job. I'm going to enforce the policies and the laws that Congress has passed, and we're going to protect our homeland.
The filing for this election for this open seat will take place on April 1st through the 3rd. The election will take place during the general midterms in November. Senator Mullin will begin his new position in the cabinet on March 31st. Reporting from Gaylord College, I'm Leah Smith, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Leah. We will continue to follow this story.
Oklahoma's transportation secretary says the state had a 106% increase in work zone deaths from 2022 to 2023. In the most recent findings presented this week, the state had 16 deaths in 2022, with that number sharply rising to 33 in 2023. However, in Cleveland County, only one death was reported from each year from 2020 to 2022, That number then dropped to 0 in 2023.
The Oklahoma Secretary of State's office has announced State Question 836 failed to meet the required amount of signatures. State Question 836 is a measure that would give Oklahoma open primary elections. This means that two candidates, regardless of their political parties, would be on the same ballot. Then supporters are saying that they turned in over 200,000 signatures, more than 25,000 needed. But the Secretary of State's office said that there were not enough valid signatures.
And in Stillwater, a former assistant district attorney is found guilty on counts of child sex abuse material. OSBI announcing 56-year-old Kevin Etherington was reported multiple times via tip for possessing child pornography. In November 2022, OSBI agents raided Etherington's Stillwater home. A jury is recommending him to 20 years in prison and a $200,000 fine.
And don't forget, this Sunday is daylight savings time. Clocks will move up by 1 hour. This means more sunlight in the evening, but one less hour of sleep. Next on OU Nightly, a preview of the OU Board's Regents meeting, as well as the important topics that they need to discuss.
And find out how the war in Iran is affecting fuel prices coming up.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Be right there. Wait.
Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
No, no, no. Turn it down. Turn it off. Get a hand. Lose the bells and whistles. Drive without distractions.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. The OU Board of Regents will meet next Tuesday with several items expected to be discussed.
Notable items include authorization of up to $9 million for the demolition of Walker Tower and its storm shelter. The Regents will also consider increasing housing and food rates and changing the classification of several undergraduate degrees. We'll bring you a complete coverage of the meeting on social media and live Tuesday at 4:30. As the war in Iran and the Middle East continues, more countries are getting involved in the conflict. Sutton Parker has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
We begin with the ongoing conflict in Iran, where the AP is reporting that Russia has provided Iran with information that could help Tehran strike American assets in the region. This is now the first indication that Moscow has become involved in the war. And today, President Trump announced that there will be no deal to end the attacks until the country agrees to an unconditional surrender. And back at home, Americans are starting to feel the price at the pump due to the conflict. Today, gas prices reached their highest levels in nearly 2 years. The national average of a tank of gas is currently $3.32. Here in Oklahoma, it's a little lower at $2.87. President Trump says the hike is only temporary. And the president of Mexico is assuring the public that there's no risk to travelers ahead of spring break. This comes as recent cartel violence erupted across the country after the killing of a cartel leader. The U.S. State Department also announced that the situation in Mexico has largely returned to normal, but they're warning travelers to be cautious when visiting. Clay, Caroline, back to you.
Thank you, Sutton. The Donor Champions Blood Drive is this week on campus. Our Blood Institute is asking for blood donations from Monday to Friday next week. Appointments are not needed, and donors will get free food, drinks, and a free Oklahoma City Thunder t-shirt. The drive will be at the Army ROTC.
And we're currently in a tornado watch for Norman and most of eastern Oklahoma. So we're going to be tracking that when we come back from the break. But right now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning just to the west of Norman. That doesn't expire until 5 o'clock tonight. So we are going to break it down when we come back, as well as what you need to look out for the rest of this weekend. We'll be back.
Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Welcome back to OU Nightly, everyone. It has been a crazy severe weather week for us here in Oklahoma, and right now we're currently looking at all of the severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning building up through central Oklahoma and pushing to the east. So all of these cells have been intensifying from the fuel we've got in the atmosphere right now. It didn't go away after last night, so here's how it's tracking out at the moment. Tornado warning in place until 5:15 tonight for Henrietta, pushing up towards Okmulgee. That's one we're really looking at right now. It's radar indicated, but definitely probably some hail in there. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one and the rest of these cells as they build out. This one over by Chickasha, we've been watching. It's looking to be pushing north of Norman, so we're not too worried about it at the moment, but it also looks like it is weakening for us right there. And then just these storms off towards Shawnee, all the way from Pauls Valley up towards Shawnee. That's another one of those stronger lines that's going to be pushing off to the east tonight. So this is really the big setup we've got going on. There's definitely some hail reports in there. We've seen pea-size hail this morning in Norman, but these ones could possibly produce up to golf ball and baseball size hail for us tonight. So the tornado watch is in place until 10 p.m. tonight. And again, with the tornado warning already in that region, we are expecting a few more to spin up as these storms move through. The threat pretty much goes all night long for us. Here's what the Storm Prediction Center has for us for these ratings. We are in the slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 here for us in Norman, but the enhanced risk, it was over Norman a couple days ago, has pushed off to the east. So all of eastern Oklahoma, Miami, all the way down pretty much to Idabel, they are going to get the strongest of these storms. As we saw, they're already starting to push over to the east. Western Oklahoma still in a marginal risk. So everyone really has to keep their eyes out for all modes of severe weather tonight. Hail risk here in Norman, probably golf ball size max is what we're expecting. But as those storms keep pushing east, we are expecting them to get more intensified, which could bring some golf ball size hail pushing more towards that baseball size hail. But Damaging winds as well, pretty much everywhere from Norman to the east, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in these storms. So definitely very damaging. You're going to want to tie down anything you've got outside, some yard chairs or even just some plants, because if those storms move through your area, they're definitely going to be blowing around. And that is also part of this tornado risk we've got going on. It's on the low end here in Norman, so not zero. Not saying anyone's going to severely get a tornado tonight, but in all of these shaded regions, there is a chance. So definitely keep your eyes out and have a way to receive warnings as you go throughout tonight, because this is an ongoing threat until at least 7 p.m. for Norman, but it's going to be kicking out to the east, and it's going to last pretty much overnight. So here's how it's looking on Futurecast for us. These storms are going to continue to track off to the east. You can just see how thick this band is. It's going to really be affecting McAllister, Idabel. They're going to push off. This is until the overnight hours, but you see this line here? That could produce some severe thunderstorms as well. So if that pushes just a little bit off to the west, Norman could be impacted by those storms. We head into later this weekend, Saturday. I'm expecting a little bit more rain than this model is showing. So Norman, just keep your eyes out for this. You may need an umbrella for your weekend plans, but the good news is this is not necessarily a all-out washout for us, but we are getting some reports right now of a severe thunderstorm warning around Norman. So we're going to come back to that in just a little bit, but Sunday looking pretty dry for us. So that's some good news. However, as we go into this weekend, cold front comes through. That's why we're getting some of these storms. It's really going to be that fuel that lifts the atmosphere to produce some of these storms. But we're looking at Tuesday for another severe weather threat. That includes all of central Oklahoma pushing east. It's a 15% chance at this time, so a little far out to fully track. But I want to hit you guys with this weather call promo that we've got, where anyone in the country can receive severe weather warnings and alerts. So make sure you sign up for this. It'll give us back to OU Nightly Mets. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Well, OU women's basketball just wrapped up their game against LSU in the SEC tournament.
And OU men's basketball plays Texas tomorrow before the start of the men's SEC tournament. Find more about these stories and more up next in sports.
Winter is upon us, and every Oklahoman knows that that means unpredictable freezing temperatures. One of the main concerns with freezing temperatures is the damage they can cause to your home or business should they cause your water pipes to freeze over. Older homes, especially those without proper insulation or that have basements or crawl spaces with exposed pipes, are particularly susceptible to this. Here is Rachel Croft, City of Norman Water Treatment Plant Manager, to show you the proper steps you can take to prevent your pipes from freezing.
The good news is you don't need to run a whole lot of water in order to combat freezing from your pipes. Here's how you do it. Another thing that you can do to help is to open your cabinet drawers to make sure that warm air throughout your home is getting to your faucet pipes. But you want to make sure to remove any harmful chemicals that any small children or pets could have the ability to reach.
Following these steps can help save money on your water bill and help to conserve Norman's water supply.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Friday, which means it's time for Big Friday Sports. I'm Michael Thompson. That's Oliver Schaefer, and it has been pouring outside, Oliver.
Michael, it is also raining on OU women's basketball's hopes of an SEC championship. Sooners kick off the SEC tournament. Reagan Beers gets the scoring started down low. Flash forward, Aaliyah Chavez, mid-range jumper, good. Sooners by 6. Flash forward a little further, Chavez step back 3 as that will bolster the lead for the Sooners. And next clip, Reagan Beers at the line. That's her 2,000th point and only the third Sooner ever to cross the mark. Sooners pull away and win 82-64, but head coach Jenny Baranczyk has all eyes on the Sooners' next matchup.
They're so good. They're so talented, and they have, and we obviously did not play well the first time, and they're just very, very good, and they have so many weapons. We're going to take some lessons from this game. That's just what we do. We're going to continue to grow to get better, and then we have to give everything that we have tomorrow. But if we don't make it a team and we don't rebound the ball, we've got no shot. So we've got to be able to get better offensively. We've got to move the ball better.
Speaking of having no shot, the Sooners were not able to carry Coach Baranczyk's words into the matchup with LSU. They fell to the Tigers 112-78. ESPN's bracketology currently has the Sooners as a 3 seed, meaning they would host tournament games and are projected to face Idaho in the first round.
Well, Oliver, a team hoping to get into the NCAA tournament at all is OU men's basketball. According to Joe Lunardi, OU is the 11th team out. And after winning 5 of their last 7, a huge Red River Showdown tips off tomorrow in Austin at 7:30. A win could boost OU's tournament hopes before the SEC tournament begins next week. And even after losing 9 straight games earlier in the season, Porter Moser loves how this team hasn't quit, giving themselves a chance late on in the season.
I give these guys credit because we were talking about get better. Sometimes when you're young and you watch this much film and you're losing, you're like, coach, get better. And these guys, we've gotten better defensively. Mike just told me that's 4 straight games holding the teams under 50%.
Nearly 2 months after being traded from the Atlanta Hawks to the Washington Wizards, former Sooner Trae Young made his DC debut and got right to it, switching hands for his first points as a Wizard. Later on in the second, Young looking like an actual Wizard, fooling his defender for a flashy 2. He finished with 12 points and 6 assists in 19 minutes, but starts his new chapter with a loss to the Jazz 122-112.
Well, with the Winter Olympics wrapped up in Italy, one sport has made its way here to Oklahoma.
Find out the story of how the sport has brought a new community together. Stay with us for Big Friday Sports.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Winter Olympics may be over, but OU Nightly's Elle Gedman is keeping things cool over at the Arctic Edge Ice Center. Elle?
Yeah, guys, the Winter Olympics may be over, but no need to fret because we have ice sports right here in Oklahoma. As you can see behind me, we have some hockey going on, but on Sunday nights, this place turns into a hub for the Oklahoma Curling Club. I caught up with some of the members of the club to talk about the friendships that they've formed on the ice. At first look, the Oklahoma Curling Club may seem like a fun sport or a hobby, but to the members of the club, it is so much more than that. After being formed in 2010 to promote curling in OKC, members have found a sense of community on the ice.
Curling is like no other sport. So curling, there's this unwritten thing called the spirit of curling. And like in curling, everybody, it's just this like huge camaraderie. Like there's no referee, there's no officials. You call your own fouls. You celebrate with the opposite team that just made an amazing shot. Everybody holds their breath for like, if it's your shot, if it's the opposing team, whatever, everybody's in it together. We're all in it. So we always bring food and drinks and stuff like that. We always hang out after the leagues. Some of my best friends I've met from curling, we travel around together. We meet people in other states, all over the place. We have people from multiple countries in our club.
Almost everybody here goes out of their way to help you because they want it to be competitive. They want it to be fun for everybody, and they know that if you're just struggling, you're not going to come back. Like, this is meant to be exercise, social, fun. Every week I seem to meet somebody else. Every week is just different, and everybody is like cheering you on, and that's cool. Like, you just don't find that many places. It is actually, for me, the best thing I've done as an adult.
The Oklahoma Curling Club makes sure that the sport is accessible to all, and there are accommodations for people with back problems or other issues that may make bending down and sliding hard. They even make it available for those in wheelchairs. The club is always welcoming new members, and I even got to try throwing a stone myself.
For people that are into competitive things, like they say, like football is a game of inches, right? Well, curling is a game of millimeters. Curling is like one of those games, like it's all mental, very precision based, and people get hooked on it and love it, and we welcome it. We would love for people to come out and do it. Like I said, we're actively trying to get more and more and more, because that really is the mission of our club, is to spread curling to anyone and everyone that wants to do it. It's just such a fun sport, and anybody can do it, and our job is to figure out just how to get you hooked.
In curling, the goal is to throw the stones as close to the middle as possible of the house, which is the circles. That's where this guy comes in handy. And too bad they wouldn't let me on the ice, because I would have shown you guys how it's done. Reporting live from Arctic Edge Ice Arena in Edmond, I'm Elle Gedman, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Elle. Sooner ace Cam Johnson was on the mound last night for OU baseball, striking out 7 Santa Clara batters. Now, a double from Camden Johnson in the bottom of the 6th gave the Sooners the go-ahead run in the tight 2-1 win that Skip Johnson appreciated.
Playing close games is always good. There's no doubt about that. It'll make you better in the end run. So, having to go out and make certain pitches in certain moments are big, make certain plays in certain moments in the game and get big hits or lay bunts down at certain times. And I thought we did a great job of throwing strike one tonight.
Yeah, sticking on the diamond, both diamond sports have been affected by weather. Baseball canceled tonight's game, making a 3-game series, as softball's game today will be moved to tomorrow. Patty Gasso's girls will play both Abilene Christian and the Louisiana Raging Cajuns on both Saturday and Sunday. The 4th-ranked softball team will look to pick up right where they left off after beating North Texas 16-4.
Staying with Sooner teams that are dominating, the SEC champion OU women's gymnastics team is in Fayetteville tonight, closing out conference play against the Razorbacks at 7:30. But that's not it for KJ's team this weekend, as they return to the LNC on Sunday, taking on D2 Texas Women's University.
The Big 12 Wrestling's championship is underway at the BOK Center in Tulsa. The 24th-ranked Sooners have 10 representatives in the tournament and is split over 4 sessions in 2 days. If all goes well for Oklahoma, they will take a trip up to Cleveland for the NCAA National Championships later in March. And Michael, this is a story that hurts as a Cincinnati native. Joe Mixon has been released by the Houston Texans.
Hey, well, I know as a Cincy fan, you probably remember back when they were the Cincinnati Sooners with he and Samaje Perine back in the backfield, right?
Samaje Perine was a dog. AFC 2021 championship against the Chiefs, man, he was him.
Hey, well, thank you so much for watching Big Friday Sports. For Oliver Schaefer, I'm Michael Thompson. We'll be back in 3 weeks. Have a great night.
Yeah.